We're back at it again with another Battlefront update. So it's not hard to notice that the past few weeks I've been getting a ton of comments in my videos, asking if there are any new Ahsoka news, when is Ahsoka coming to Battlefront 2, and so on. It's pretty clear that people can't wait for the news on their favorite character coming to the game. Fortunately, we've got a couple brand new teases for her that show DICE's enthusiasm in bringing her over to Battlefront 2. Along with this, we also have some exciting news regarding Boba Fett getting a fix, responsive hero abilities, and more. And before we get into any of that, but a quick reminder, as if you do like these type of videos, then do remember to give it a like and show your support for not only this update series, but also the content within it. Now before we start, as you can tell with my voice, I'm still sick. But you guys keep asking for this content, so I'm going to try my best to deliver it for you. Starting out, I just want to point out that we didn't get that expected CT this week for the new Ewok Hunt mode. I was hoping we would, but it looks like that has now since been delayed to next week, which will see us get the Ewok Hunt CT on Monday, the update patch notes on Tuesday, and then the update going live on Wednesday. I doubt that was the original plan to cram everything in like that, but hey, things happen and we get that. With that said, in my last video, I was speculating that we maybe could be getting more appearances in the October update than the ones that were first revealed. And as it turns out, that seems to be the case here. Except instead of new hero appearances, it looks like we're gonna be getting new reinforcement skins. And while it would be great if these were OT reinforcement skins, I'd imagine this is most likely going to be the droid commando reinforcement skins that were leaked out before. Which either way is still awesome to have and will make prequel fans happy should this happen. Also, I know there were a lot of people vocal recently over Han Solo getting a new skin, while Maul has no customization options and he continues to be ignored. Well, take note that DICE is now fully aware of your frustrations, with Brannvall telling the community, "We know there's a lot of Maul love, he's one of our favorites too. It's a shame we didn't get to do an appearance for him back in the solo season. While we don't have anything to announce at this time, rest assured we know you want some." So if anything, DICE is aware of the tremendous demand for a hooded Maul or even robot legs Maul appearance. And by Ben's comment, it does seem somewhat promising that we could be getting at least one of those in the near future. When will that be? No idea, but I'll be sure to report on this story when we do get some more details. Now jumping into hero update news, but according to hero designer Guillaume Mroz, there is a possibility that we could be seeing something in next week's game update to fix Grievous. As he says, "We've been working hard on getting rid of issues on Grievous. I hope it will show in the October update. Raising my bowl to no more spinning, hopefully." I might add hopefully to all my tweets now. So as we can see, Guillaume is of course referring to the Grievous spinning problem that comes from the bugged thrust surge, which as a result has made playing as him rather difficult recently. With that said, at the same time, this bug also resulted in plenty of memes being made about it, which I think you know what I'm talking about.
I'll try spinning, that's a good trick.
Now, at this time, Guillaume isn't fully sure if the Grievous spin fix will be included in the October update, as it is possible DICE may had already sent the updates to Microsoft and Sony for certification, and if that's the case, then we're gonna have to wait until November for a fix. If anything, I'm sure by Monday, Guillaume will likely let us know if he was able to ship this fix into the October update or not. Now, another hero that has got the community worried recently is Boba Fett, who suffered a nerf as a result of the last patch alongside with Darth Vader. Since then, Guillaume has come out and said that he's got a pretty insane buff in the works coming for Vader. I covered that part in my last news update video, so if you're curious about that, then I suggest watching that video after this. However, despite hearing some good news about Vader's buff future, we haven't heard anything about Boba. And suffice to say, that has had Boba mains especially worried. Fortunately, Guillaume didn't disappoint today, and when asked if he's ever going to fix Boba, he replied, "Yes, not for this upcoming update, but I hear the feedback." So unfortunately, Boba mains will have to wait until potentially November for any kind of Boba buff. However, on the bright side, DICE is clearly listening to player feedback, And they obviously want both light and dark side players to be happy. Now, because Guillaume didn't reveal any info on what or how he intends to fix Boba, unlike Vader where he basically revealed his whole intended plan for him, then I can only assume that Guillaume is still unsure on where he could tweak Boba, to the point that he doesn't ruin his previous changes to him, but at the same time figure out a way to still please Boba players. Finding a middle ground like that isn't easy, and it makes sense on why we're not going to be seeing any changes made to Boba so soon after his nerf. So again, don't expect anything major for Boba in the next update, but definitely something after that. Speaking about the next update, but Guillaume also was able to share some new details that will for sure be included in it. On Twitter, he tweeted, "Another big thing for the next update, we did a huge pass on abilities not triggering when getting staggered or during a stagger. The button was flashing but nothing happened. Now the abilities will be more responsive and will trigger when you want them to. Hope you enjoy it." This is of course a major change when it comes to hero combat, and quite possibly some of the best news we've heard lately. Now with abilities being able to activate despite your character getting staggered, it's going to be a big game changer for modes like heroes versus villains. Especially those times where a couple of people would gang up on one person and they wouldn't be able to properly defend themselves after getting staggered spammed. Well, thanks to this, it sounds like those days are long gone. Granted, this sounds great on paper, but we're gonna have to still see how this will play on the live environment and if it will even work as intended. Either way, some very positive news coming from Guillaume that should keep everyone even more excited for next week's update. Now to move on to the news story that a ton of people have been waiting for. But as I've mentioned before, I've been getting a lot of requests the last few weeks regarding Ahsoka and if there are any updates on her coming to the game. And well, surprisingly, there are. But unfortunately, they're only teases from DICE and not any leaks or anything like that. And I only say that because leaks are obviously the best source next to official news. But hey, DICE has a history of their teases coming true all the way back, starting with Grievous. So obviously these teases are definitely worth a look, especially when they're coming from the design director of the game, Dennis Brannvall. The first tease comes as a result of the recent news of Catherine Tabor, the voice of Padme on the Clone Wars, and her eagerness to see Padme in Battlefront 2, which Dennis seemed relatively positive about. Then, one person on Twitter asked if there was any chance of Aurra Sing to also show up in the game as Padme's dark side counter, considering Catherine also voices her as well. Dennis responded to this tweet with a cheeky "we'll see" comment along with an image of Ahsoka holding Aurra at lightsaber point. I guess that's what you can call it, that, knife point, so lightsaber point, but yeah. Out of all the Aurra Sing images out there that he could have used, it's very interesting he chose this one of Ahsoka, I guess, dominating Aurra? Which, mind you, plays on all the previous teases, game files, and leaks that Ahsoka is going to be showing up in the game before Aurra Sing does. As based on some_info's leaks from before, DICE have spent since March working on Ahsoka and Ventress. And while I believe those should be done by now, I highly doubt DICE has progressed much on making an Aurra Sing hero. Sure, there is a chance that they could have started the preliminary work on her, but seeing as heroes take 3 to 4 months of work to create, or sometimes even more like Grievous who took 6 months, then my guess is we won't be seeing Aurra in the game until late 2020, which DICE has confirmed that they're still going to be supporting the live service for the game next year too, in case anyone is wondering. Now as for the second tease, that's also by Dennis. And it's even more evidence of how DICE are committed to the idea of bringing cartoon characters like Ahsoka and Ventress to the game. As one person on Twitter told Dennis that while they would love to see Padme and Aurra Sing in the game, they definitely don't want to see Ahsoka or Ventress, or else they're gonna be uninstalling the game, with their excuse being that they don't want to watch cartoon characters running around in Battlefront 2. Dennis surprisingly replied back to this tweet with a simple "see ya," letting that person know that their fears will unfortunately for them come true. And that's just it, as tweets like this Dennis has no reason to respond to, as what does he have to gain from it? Well, other than finding an opportunity to give the community a tease. Even more interesting and funny is this wasn't the first interaction between these two. As before, the same person was seen telling Dennis that they don't want cartoons like Ahsoka and Ventress in the game, where Dennis replied with, "Now where were we?" and an image of Ventress impaling a Senate guard. So yeah, I think these teases speak for themselves here. And anyone frustrated at the idea of cartoon characters like Ahsoka and Ventress coming to the game won't be too thrilled next year. Now, going back to my previous point, I know some Padme or Aurra Sing fans may be unhappy that those heroes will be coming out so late, but let me explain. First, I'm not going to run through an entire history lesson of every single Ahsoka and Ventress tease, leak, and data mined file in the game that we've had so far to date, as that would make this video way over 20 minutes long. I've done videos on each of them already, so if you're keeping up with the content on this channel, then you should know all of them by heart. But since the very start, I believe early 2018, Dennis first said that he wanted to bring more female heroes to the game. Since then, we've seen and only heard about things relating to Ahsoka and Ventress, with known DICE leaker some_info going as far as confirming their development. He said that they were both being worked on and DICE would unveil them off at a big event like EA Play or Gamescom. During this time, some_info also revealed that DICE were working on a Conquest offline mode for the game, and that of course turned out to be true with instant action. Before then, he also told us of a mode like Capital Supremacy coming to the game, plus many other things that I've since seen him as a proven insider source for leaks. But having said all of that, this question of course comes up, on why didn't we get Ahsoka and Ventress in 2019, like some_info said we would? Well, the answer for that is simple, and it's neither DICE's nor some_info's fault. And that's because the issue here lies with Lucasfilm, who DICE have to get everything approved by them before putting it into the game. The original plan was to release Ahsoka and Ventress alongside Clone Wars Season 7, which the expected date before for that was November 2019, the same release month as Disney+. But as we found out in late August, Lucasfilm delayed the release of Clone Wars Season 7 all the way to February 2020 instead. So as a result, this forced DICE to continue in keeping the existence of Ahsoka and Ventress in Battlefront a secret until early next year. So because DICE most likely finished both Ahsoka and Ventress to be ready for a November release, but now obviously can't put them out, then they'll be very likely the first to be released in February 2020. As if DICE has Ahsoka and Ventress already done and ready to go, then why wouldn't they release them over Padme and Aurra Sing, which are still at best in the work and development stage? And that's kind of pretty much why Dennis and other devs keep hinting to Ahsoka and Ventress coming out first, before any other new Clone Wars heroes, as that just makes most sense and keeps expectations in check. But that'll do it for this Battlefront update. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel to not only support it, but keep up with Star Wars news, gaming, and canon lore released every week. And consider to follow me on Twitter and Facebook to never miss out on the latest Star Wars content. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.